All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. I can't believe how long it's been since I've done a dedicated weed video, so I do apologize about that. Interesting things happening here. When I say interesting, I don't mean good interesting, all right? The one thing I always show when I cover these weed stocks is I will show, sorry for the video things, or the phone things, I always show the S&P 500 crushing it, all right? And I always show the Dow Jones, the DJ30, okay? Crushing it. When I see the two indices that are affecting the stock that I'm looking at, when I see this, but all of a sudden I'm looking at my individual one and I see that, right? When I look at Tilray, I see that. When I look at Sandal, I see that, right? Like when I see ACB, right? Like that one actually did a lot better, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Oh no, that's ACB. That makes more sense. I thought it did not. It's frustrating, all right? And why do I look at those two? Again, all we're talking about is farming a plant and selling that plant in a store. All right. Yeah, the plant does some really cool things if you burn it, right? Like that's a different story. But yeah, this is as bare bone fundamental a business as it can. There's literally not that much tech here. Yeah, maybe there's some like innovation and lights and growings and get out of here. Like this is nothing more than like a bank where there's just some paper money that's exchanged at a brick and mortar store like a bank, right? Like I mean, this is when the Dow Jones and S&P are doing well, weed stock should too. You know what I mean? And when that's not happening, there's a little bit of like concern. All right, that's the echoing, that's the overshadowing echo across all of these. All right. The other thing that just kind of talk about is earnings are starting to come out, and earnings weren't that bad. ACB actually had good earnings. That's what made me believe that one mistake chart was right. Because yeah, ACB had a nice after hours run yesterday, and you know I hate after hours, so I will talk about that, right? But decent to not horrible earnings, plus a good Dow Jones and S&P 500, but bad overall sector. That's frustrating. That would make someone maybe use words like manipulation and stuff like that. You know I don't like to do that, all right? I really don't, okay? So we'll talk about the technicals and the lines and all that, but yeah, just a little bit longer of an intro too, but had to be said for sure. So before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time is super appreciated, all right? So let's get into it. And man, CGC, again, you hear me say it all the time. Good things happen over the 8 and the 20. All right, and oof, beautiful ride up, an extremely sad ride down. All right, there were times when this was lining up with the S&P 500, right? Like from the 18th all the way basically to the 30th, it was a pretty bad downhill. And yeah, it made sense that that's what mimicked here, right? You kind of even see a little bit of the recoveries that we saw. From the 30th through today, and again, I started the video with it, I'll quickly flash it. It's been a monster. It's been more than a 10% rip on those. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but if an indice can do that, oh man, the amount of movement that an individual stock should do is almost 10x that, you know? And dude, this thing barely goes up from that 30th takeoff, and then obviously never able to get over the stack of moving averages and just goes down. Like this one was a rough one, and I don't really have a lot of answers to why the entire sector is still down. All right, I think some important things to note are again, like I don't even know what to say. Like I'm telling you, like as I'm trying to put my thoughts together, it's a little puzzling. All right. Now, I think the one thing is that they're all essentially like doing the same. The one outlier again was, I mean, I don't want to do that. I'll get to the ACB one later, right? But like, man, it's weird, right? Like, I don't pre-record these, and you're hearing the frustration live from my head because I'm telling you, I can't even really justify this much to myself. You know what I mean? Look, end of the day, the simple things to say are, yeah, bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. That's definitely what's happened. This right here was the point that, I mean, I guess it was technically this one, right? But we fall below all 5 moving averages, and hey, my expectation was we'd be even lower than we were, right? So we're just kind of like bouncing on this, are we below or are we not? Again, we are now back under all 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one being right there, right? But yeah, it's just it's a little frustrating that we couldn't at least get to hear the 75 cent, if not even a little more. Because man, this entire week the major indices were doing good, and this entire week all we can do is go down, right? Now, don't get me wrong, the CGC earnings were not like magnificent, right? Like I'm not trying to like pretend that they were, but decent, right? Like not horrible, okay. These like mediocre to average adjectives on top of a good market generally do mean you're gonna go up. You know what I mean? So believe me when I say like there's not a lot of like really sound thoughts I have here, and I'm not using the word manipulation because I'm telling you, I genuinely believe if you use the word manipulation, you take away from a moment of not being able to learn. I think this like struggle to put an answer to it is in some ways good. Like not everything is black and white, right? And I think if you try to like throw it into this like black and white manipulation box, like manipulation, that's all it is. No, like I don't know, just my opinion. I know it pisses off a lot of people when I say that too, but yeah. Let me know if you've got some like more concrete thoughts. Otherwise, it's kind of going to be the same thing for the rest of them. Let's go to Tilray. Tilray, again, same essential thoughts like with CGC, right? Good things do happen over the 8 and the 20. It was able to rebound right there. Clearly, not even a single real rebound moment. There was a little bit something here, but again, you know it. One single day doesn't count, and unfortunately, right back under all moving averages. We're again giving a lot of reason to believe we're going to come down to this 151. That 151 is all-time lows, right? Like it's crazy. It's crazy that from the 30th till today, the majors have been ripping. From the 30th till today, we've been going down here. All right, like I don't have very many good thoughts as to why it's happening. An easy thing to say is just volume, man. Volume is nowhere near the 50-day average, and it's like literally half of it, essentially. You know what I mean? Like there's a very, very little interest in the sector. It's just stocks that are under all 5 moving averages and are too close to all-time lows. I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? Again, like I don't know what else to say. I'm wondering if anyone else has anything. Maybe there was a headline I missed somewhere, right? But maybe I will say this. I think there was a lot of expectations of some laws, some important laws being passed in 23. We are now a stone throw away from the year ending, and maybe that kind of realization is bursting some bubbles. I don't know. I really, really don't know. But there's not too much like justifying why this is looking so horrible. All right, I'm gonna come to ACB. ACB is the one interesting one. Like there's actually not a lot of good in this one, and the one main lesson in ACB is after hours trading is a fool's game. All right, and again, it pisses off a lot of people when I say that. Believe there's a couple of things I know I say that people get angry, but I always say don't let after hours fool you. ACB was pushing if I'm not mistaken, it got as high as 20%-ish after hours yesterday. I'm really sure it was in the high teens at least, all right? It was at least high enough for this stock to open at 52 cents. You can see it in the box over there. It opens at 52 cents and then falls all the way down to 47 cents. All right. The thing actually loses about 5 cents. More people lost 10% today than they actually made 5%. A lot of people bought at this open and watched it go down. That is genuinely what I believe. You know what I mean? And that's not a good day. That's not a good day, you know? And end of the day, yeah, if you see some excitement in the after hours, man, and it's hard to ignore it. I'm human too. Like, I see it. Sometimes I want to jump in the action. I'm a little gambleaholic myself, all right? After hours is a trap. After hours will make a stock open up here and then fall all the way down there. And that's a painful thing if you don't know what to do or what to hit eject or some stuff like that. You know what I mean? Again, what's really sad is, I mean, look, I'll take that back. It's not really sad. This actually does close over 2 moving averages, right? Like, we've been trying to break the 20. We couldn't. We actually do a nice little gap up to here, but obviously come down a lot lower. Like, this is looking a little better than the other two. The problem is this one is also a lot closer to the all-time low line than the other two are. This thing is actually only a penny above. I guess in some ways you can say I should lower this line. It's now this. So I guess that adds a little bit of distance. But yeah, end of the day, we're sitting right here. All-time lows is here. I just covered Tilray. Tilray at least has a decent like distance between that line. I just covered CGC. It's actually got a couple lines before it, right? So ACB is I mean, it's dancing with all-time lows, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's oh, man, it's so hard to pinpoint thoughts here. It is. You can tell I'm struggling with all of these, right? Like, I'm not even sure how I'm going to chapter this thing out, if you want to know the truth. But yeah, I don't have too much more to say. It's really sad, actually. I hope I'm not wasting people's time. Let me at least say that much, all right? Let's come into SNDL. Dude, look at this thing again. It's the exact same thing. Where is this all-time low line? It is all-time low line. Now, look. Yes, I do see that there's another candle down here. Yeah, I think this day is more important than either of those two. I do, actually. Yeah, that line's not going to move. And it also kind of lines up with this pretty well. Yeah, no, I'm good with it. Dude, again, under all 5 moving averages, way too close to the all-time low line. This one actually seems to do a better up on last week's move. This week has been a really bad week for the entire sector. Did something happen on Monday that I don't know about? Maybe. I'm not going to pretend I don't know. If something happened on Monday, I feel bad that I'm asking this deep in the video, but yeah, this is just some bad charts. Let me just end it with high tide. I feel bad just like flying through all these, but again, I don't have too many thoughts, dude. High tide went from like, I was thinking we were gonna make this nasty recovery to like, are we really gonna be talking about these all-time low numbers just like the other ones? It's crazy. It is. It is crazy. And again, this one had a decent last week, horrible. I feel like something happened on Monday and I missed it. Let me know in the comments. Again, I really hope I didn't waste your 14 minutes. I try to make this as quick as I could, but yeah, this was a frustrating video to make. Maybe I would have had some better thoughts if I had actually like looked at the whole sector a little bit harder the week and like, yeah, wow, this was... Hey, let me know if I missed something on the 6th. Otherwise, I hope I didn't waste your time. But this is a weird sector review, to say the least. All right, let me know your thoughts. Thank you.